Hello.
We would like to encourage anyone who wants to pick up more of our signs over here. So we're ready to go.
All right, everyone. We are live. This is Union Square.
Check. Show me.
All right, so this is a protest or a rally. It's a rally put on by Israelis for Peace, NYC.
Thank you for joining us again today. Thank you everyone for joining us again today. We are Israeli peace activists living in New York City. We are still mourning and are very, very angry. We are angry that Gaza is being decimated, and we are angry that the hostages are languishing and dying with no deal in sight. Or worse, with a deal on the table that Netanyahu rejects. He would rather drag us into a third Lebanon war that will set the whole region on fire and not sign the goddamn deal. A deal that is not only supported by the majority of Israelis, but is being called for and demanded by the hostages' families who are leading the fight for a deal and a ceasefire and against the government. They are loud and clear, saying that Bibi is the obstacle to a deal, that Bibi will sacrifice them all for his political survival, that the continued war is not the solution. The killing could stop today, yesterday, months ago. So we are here today and every Sunday to say, take the deal!
Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal! Take the deal!
We are here also to say, ceasefire and hostage deal now! Save Gaza! Prevent another war in the north! Today, we, as well as many other protesters around the world, are joining in support of the big peace rally that will take place in Tel Aviv-Yafa tomorrow, the largest ever coalition of Israeli and Palestinian peace organizations A courageous event that, amidst the violent attempts to silence any resistance to the ongoing war, calls for the only possible and only hopeful stance in the midst of this desperate moment. We are joining in support of everybody who has not lost hope yet in the call to fight for life, for peace, and for a fair and equal diplomatic resolution instead of accepting a life of continued injustice, violence, and despair. We are here today and every Sunday to amplify our peace community and families back home who have been protesting every day, who are being skunked, beaten up, and arrested in their attempts to fight this government and the occupation. We are here because we have the privilege to do so in safety. We are here in solidarity with our Palestinian and Israeli siblings on the ground, fighting to end this war and for a better future for everyone between the river and the sea. We are here today, and especially on Pride, to demand, just like the LGBTQ plus activists who started this movement did before us and still do, equality, safety, dignity, and human rights for every single person. From Stonewall to Rafah, nobody is free until everyone is free. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Hey everybody, happy Pride. Thank you for being here in this rain to call for an end to the war. Stop the war now. Stop the war now. Stop it now. Now. Stop the war now. Stop the war now. Stop the war now. Stop the war now. We're here in solidarity with a very big event, largest of its kind. Our Israelis, brothers and sisters, are holding tomorrow, and I want to read the message that they want to ask us to read for the event tomorrow. It burns and it hurts. After so many years of fear and violence and struggle, occupation and terror, the war that broke out on October 7th should and can be the last war. The war that will be followed by peace. Peace. In an unprecedented event, the Israeli peace camp, Jews and Arabs, women and men from all over Israel, victims of October 7th, those who lost their dearest to the war, those deserted and displaced, refugees in their own country, along with partners from around the world, here in New York and in many cities around the United States and around the world, we will gather for a momentous and significant show of power Together we will call for ending the war. End the war. End the war. And seeking a resolution to the conflict in a treaty based on justice and equality between people, citizens, communities, and the right of both peoples, Israelis and Palestinians, to self-determination and to life and independent and safe state. We will say enough. It's time to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Enough. We will not accept a life of continued injustice. We will remember that living by the sword is not our fate. We will not accept life in an eternal war. We will prove that there are solutions. There are partners. There is a basis for agreement. We will not ignore the power relations between Israelis and Palestinians. We will learn from the past and work towards a full recognition of the injustices of days gone. We will not allow children to be deserted to hate, racism, ignorance, and poverty. We will act together with courage and determination to build a future based on personal, social, and national equality, on freedom, justice, and partnership, on society, dignity, and compassion. We will choose life, good neighborness, partnership, and peace. We choose peace. The time has come to end the war and choose peace. The time has come is the name of the event we're in solidarity with, is the first event, the launch of a much larger plan, proof of potency and visibility, combining inspirational and vision with a pragmatic and concrete approach that will shake up regional thinking and ignite the political imagination we all so desperately need right now. Thank you for being here today. Israel and Palestine are intertwined. Israel and Palestine. All of them now. Et kulam. Et kulam. Et kulam. Et kulam. Bachaim. Bachaim. Alive. Alive.
Just have everyone open to that direction, because I feel like there are a lot of people who are interested and they want to see the signs. So if we could have this area where I'm standing right now a little clearer, as well as that one, that would be great.
There is no military solution! There is no military solution! There is no
Military solution!
There is no military solution! There is no military solution! There is no military solution!
Don't forget, guys, smash that like button, share this live stream. So this is Union Square. This is a rally held by a group called Israelis for Peace, NYC.
Over the past 6 months, I've been standing here with you, remembering my aunt who was murdered. Okay. All right, I'll take it from the top. Over the past 9 months, I've been standing here with you, remembering my aunt who was murdered at 88 in Kibbutz Be'eri, and raising the voice of my friend from Gaza, whose name I can't share for her safety, and with whom I've been running a small direct donation program for the past 7+ years. Over the years, through this type of work, I've gotten to know a few more women in Gaza. And with some of them, even though we could never meet in person, and even though nothing in the power dynamic was normal, friendships grew. Kind of like those tiny flowers you see popping out through hard cement. One of these women was Aisha. Aisha was killed 3 nights ago. She was only 34. She was full of life, humor, and hope. She left behind a husband and 3 sweet children, aged 12, 10, and 5. Aisha was killed when the army tanks opened fire on displaced people's tents in Shakush, Rafah. During the shelling and the bombing, the family became separated while running away. When they returned, they saw that Aisha did not survive. Aisha was spirited and energetic. She was exuberant, bubbly, and caring. Our mutual friend described her the other day as a comedian. She had big dreams, like leaving Gaza to give the kids a better future, and small dreams, like getting a dog or being able to wear the beautiful dresses she used to wear before the war. She dreamt of normalcy and beauty, and being able to care about things other than survival again. We messaged for the last time 4 days before she died. She had finally managed to get some groceries, so the conversation was almost cheerful, and she sent some more photos of the kids. The last thing she said to me was heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. The last thing I said to her is that her children's smiles mean everything. Like my aunt, she was not, nor will she ever be, a statistic, a point, a means, or an argument. She was a person, a human being like you and me, who doesn't control their government and just wants a normal, decent life. She deserved so much better. May her memory be a blessing. If we could take a short minute of silence. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand in front of you with a heart full of gratitude, being surrounded by people who share the same vision for peace. It is reassuring to know that we're all committed to working tirelessly together, fueled by the belief that things can be different and that equality and peace are not just aspiration but can become a reality. My name is Esti Shohat Rosenfeld. I grew up in Kibbutz Kerem Shalom in the Otef region, and on October 7 I lost some close friends. Some were murdered, some were kidnapped, and some are still dealing with mental and physical wounds. I come from a kibbutz that is deeply rooted in anti-occupation and peace activism. Despite the awareness of the sheer inequality between us, we were human beings who raised on both sides of the line. I remember spending weekends in Rafiah at Ali's house and the joy of his youngest son's wedding. On September 13, 1993, the day of the Oslo Agreement signing, I vividly remember my father's tearful and hopeful phone call with Ali expressing a shared relief. When I grew up, I left my parents' home and lived in Kibbutz Manara in the north of Israel for a couple of years. Now, both of the kibbutzim I used to call home are destroyed. But strangely, or maybe paradoxically, my belief in the importance of building an equitable and shared society for both Israelis and Palestinians in the beloved homeland has grown stronger than ever. After years in the Bay Area, I'm going back to Israel next week. I'm going to fight for the democratic and equal future of my country. A decade ago, I left my job in the tech industry and dedicated all my time and energy to working with organizations that build shared society. I started attending school, first as a mother and community member, and then joined the staff overseeing the Jewish-Arab bilingual schools network in Israel. Our goal is to establish an equal school system, challenging the segregation practices of the Israeli Ministry of Education. Currently, I work with the Regional Council of the Unrecognized Bedouin Villages in the Negev. My focus is on advocating for the recognition of Bedouin villages who, despite being citizens of Israel, face ongoing racism, hindering their rights to have a legal place to live. Every day, dozens of homes are demolished, and hundreds of citizens remain without roof over their heads simply because they are not Jewish and therefore not eligible for municipal recognition. This week, it was proven again that demolitions are happening concurrently to Palestinian citizens of Israel and residents of the Bedouin of the West Bank. We saw the al-Khair. We saw that the conflict, Ben Gvir's intimidating police tactics, differential allocation of resources to religious and secular groups, cancellation of budget for Arab society, all these are part of well-planned process of dehumanization of the Arab-Palestinian society in Israel. A true Jewish-Arab shared society is a key to lower barriers, to work in partnership and to begin the process of reconciliation, equality and justice for everyone from the river to the sea. We cannot remain passive. We will continue to fight for equality and end to the war. Now, my friends in the Bay Area, and we are here today working to convey the message of more than 50 peace organizations in Israel and join the call. It's time to end the war. We must end the war, stop the killing in Gaza, and we must bring home all the hostages, now.
Now. This is an incomprehensible and unacceptable reality. Our hearts cry out in agony every moment. We must bring everyone home and save those who are still alive. This morning, we learned that the Biden administration is taking action to renew the hostage deal negotiations. According to reports, the issue still under dispute has been and remains an Israeli commitment to ending this war. The one thing standing between us and our loved ones is Netanyahu's stubborn insistence to not end this war as part of a deal. The continuation of this war means the murder of the hostages by Israel's government. Their blood is on your hands. Time after time, Netanyahu has sabotaged this deal at the moment of truth by boasting in his own voice or through, quote, government officials saying he will not agree to end the war. Netanyahu must not be allowed to sabotage this deal, too. From this stage, we turn to Defense Minister Gallant, IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi, Aryeh Deri, the members of the negotiating team. It is your personal obligation and responsibility to not allow Netanyahu to sabotage this deal again, and to not allow Netanyahu to make statements which will cause Hamas to harden its position. We are a mere step away from a war in the north. This could be our final chance. It has been 9 months since the disastrous failure of October 7th. The public expects you to openly come out and clearly state who is preventing this deal from happening. The majority of the public fully comprehends what is happening here, that Netanyahu is prolonging this war for his own personal motives, gripping onto his seat of power at the expense of the lives of our family members. No one could have imagined that this is what the situation would be 9 months after the horrific October 7th attack and the disastrous failures. The north of the country is going up in flames. The list of fallen victims grows longer. 120 hostages are still held captive by terrorists, and we are mere steps away from a multi-front war. This must be repeated and made crystal clear. Do not allow Netanyahu to sabotage this deal. If the deal is not secured now, then we will get back our body bags, if we get back anything at all. Netanyahu has abandoned them. The people will bring them home. Take to the streets and demand that all of the hostages be returned now. Take to the streets en masse, because you are the only hope the hostages have. Only a determined and massive public outcry will bring the deal, which will bring our loved ones home. When Netanyahu's seat of power begins to shake, he will rush to secure a deal. There is no victory. There can be no victory until every single hostage is brought home. The statement of Kulanu Hatufim, we are all hostages. Yeah, let's hear it for them, because they're...
לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל, יאללה.
Thank you.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Netanyahu has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Netanyahu has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Netanyahu has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Netanyahu has got to go. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign. He has lost his fucking mind. Netanyahu must resign.
He will burn the region down. Netanyahu must resign.
He will burn the region down. Netanyahu must resign.
He will burn the region down. Netanyahu must resign.
He will burn the region down.
I'm the Senior Rabbi of Congregation Beth Elohim CBE in Brooklyn. I want to thank all of you who've been here every single week. I want to thank the organizers who are Israeli leaders here who have been out here every single week, never giving in, never giving up. And when Tamara asked me if I wanted to speak again, I said, honestly, I don't have any more words. I've given, I think, 28 sermons about the war, some of them 30 minutes long. I've given a lot of words, and I don't have anything new to say. I don't have anything interesting to say. I don't even know if I have anything compelling to say. I'm out of words. And she said, we're all out of words, but could you please come speak? And I wonder how many of you, or how many of your friends, or how many people you know feel like there's nothing more to say, there's nothing more to do. We have screamed, we have shouted, we have cried, we have prayed, we have pleaded, we have begged, we have used every bit of power and influence and strategy. We have tried, and tried, and it feels like, well, what now? What can I possibly add now? What more is there to do? And the thing is that the hostages do not have the luxury of giving up. Gazans do not have the luxury of giving up. The Israelis who are going to fill the streets of Tel Aviv do not have the luxury of giving up. Palestinians in the West Bank who are subject to the control and violence of settlers do not have the luxury of giving up. We dare not act like it's okay to give up. It is not okay to give up, even when we don't have words, even when there's nothing new to say. I've got nothing new to say. But we have to say the same old things again and again and again. We must not give up. It is not right. It is not okay for us to give up or to give in or to grow silent or to act like this is acceptable or to act like this is normal or to act like this is okay, because it is not. On this day of Pride here in New York, I'm thinking about the ways that I'm a queer rabbi, I'm thinking about the ways that we reject the binary when it comes to gender. We have learned to reject the binary, and we again and again must say we reject the binary when it comes to Israel or Palestine, Israelis or Palestinians. We reject the binary. We insist that we must be pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian. Pro-Israel and pro-Palestine, pro-every person who lives in that land. All of them deserve life, future, deserve to have enough to eat, deserve to have a shelter over their head, deserve to be safe from violence, deserve to have freedom and self-determination. Every single person who lives in that land. We refuse the binary. We will not be part of the binary. We also know that our rabbis taught in the Talmud that if you have the power to protest the wrongdoing, the sin of your family, and you remain silent, you are responsible for that sin, for that wrongdoing. And if you have the ability and the power to protest the wrongdoing of your city, and you don't, you're responsible for that wrongdoing. And if you have the ability to protest the wrongdoing of the whole world and you remain silent, you are responsible for that wrongdoing. And so we decided to come out here in the rain because we know that. We know that in our kishkis. We know that if we have the power to protest and we remain silent, we are responsible for what is happening. We must not fail to protest. And today and next week and the following week and on and on and on until this war is over, until the hostages are home, until Gaza is rebuilt, until there is freedom and justice and equality and peace and life for every person who lives in that land. Thank you.
Our futures are intertwined, Israel and Palestine. 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 Our futures Our futures are intertwined, Israel and Palestine. Our futures You can join our quiet WhatsApp group if you haven't joined
Everybody,
it
I
yet.
just want to say that save the date for when Netanyahu is going to come to Washington to speak to Congress. We're going to have all kinds of organizing. Put the date on your calendar. 24th
24th?
in Washington, D.C. We're going to be outside of Congress. Follow the information.
July 24th in DC, get ready. In the meantime, join our quiet WhatsApp group where we just tell you about our next action, usually every Sunday at 5 p.m. until the war is over, even in the rain. Look at you. So thanks everyone for coming.
But I will say that his speech when the pre-service started. Oh, okay, no. Still in when his speech.
What's the?
So we'll just basically introduce yourself. Yeah, I know you said it before, but introduce yourself and tell the audience why it was important for you to be out here. I know you've been out here for a couple of months, right? Protesting
Since the war started.
Yeah. So just kind of introduce yourself and why it's important to you.
My name's Tamar. I'm from Israel. I'm from Tel Aviv. I've been living in the States since 2010. I've been mobilizing with Israelis for peace since a little after the war broke out, since early November. I lost my aunt on October 7th in Kibbutz Be'eri, and by the time that I came back, we had started mobilizing for a ceasefire and hostage deal. It was my belief from the beginning that Hamas is not defeatable by military action without unspeakable human life toll, and that was exactly what had happened as a result of the reality on the ground, in the strip, the way Hamas behaves, and the reality of war. So I was pro-ceasefire pretty much from the beginning, and it's important for me to be out here. I mean, I also have a bunch of friends in Gaza that I work with, so I'm oftentimes here for their sake. Usually I read a letter from this one closer friend that I have there. Another one of our friends there was killed a few days ago, so today was more of a memorial to her. Did that cover it?
So, now I know there's been thousands of Israelis actually protesting the government's actions and their campaign in Gaza. Why do you think the media isn't showing that? Like, they're not talking about it. It's never spoken about, because there are people who are opposed to what the government's actions are doing, but yet, you know, you hear a lot from the pro-Israel people here that it's all on Hamas. Hamas has to bring back the hostages, but yet the government, Netanyahu, is actually refusing that. They haven't agreed to anything.
Yeah.
So why
is the question about what the media is showing, or what Netanyahu is doing?
What the media is not saying about that?
I'm not sure. I tend to think that the media perhaps prefers more polarizing, so you get more clicks if you pit people against each other. It's easy to do. People by and large love being pitted against each other and being tribal, so it kind of works for everyone except the truth. But 2 to 3% of the country's population was out every Saturday. It was insane numbers, and once the war started, things changed, and now there are insane protests every night demanding ceasefire and hostage deal led by the hostage families. And of course, Israel is a fragmented society just like the American society, and it's not a monolith. Like, no group of people is a monolith. And we have supporters of Netanyahu who will follow him to hell and are following him to hell. They're proving it. And we have the same majority that's being crushed. We have a minister of defense who is a convicted terrorist, who uses the police as a private militia, who beats up protesters. It's happening. The democracy that we had, the democracy for Jews, we no longer even have that. The occupation we used to say the occupation corrupts, now we can say the occupation corrupted. So we're here because we can do it and, not get beaten up. So what excuse do we have?
Would you consider yourself anti-Zionist?
I consider myself not willing to discuss Zionism until somebody tells me what they mean.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that conversation, before I definitely consider myself anti-Zionist, or post, I find the word to be completely empty of meaning and usually used to just kind of purity test people. But I can talk about Zionism until the cows come home, but only if you tell me exactly your definition.
Right.
Yeah.
No, because I've been to protests. So recently in Brooklyn, they're having a real estate event in a synagogue, and Orthodox Jews came out to protest it.
Yeah.
And they're anti-Zionist Orthodox Jews, and they were attacked by the pro-Israel side. There were a lot of anti-Semitic slurs and racist slurs.
But, I mean, the thing is that all Jews are friends. Come on. Like, Israel is a fragmented, polarized society where a small minority of Orthodox Jews has an abnormal amount of power. We don't have separation of synagogue and state. You can't get married outside of the Rabbinical Institute. So the thought that Israelis and Orthodox Jews would maybe clash it's not surprising. But I'm worried about that particular group of Orthodox Jews that I think you're referring to, Neturei Karta, who are anti-Zionist and also Messianic, and also have in many ways quite a different vision than the progressives who are embracing them, if not tokenizing them. An important thing to keep in mind that I don't know the exact number, but the Neturei Karta are like less than 0.003% of world Jewry. So, and I respect their stance. However, we don't necessarily come to it from the same place. So I come to it more from a human rights perspective and less from the Messiah hasn't returned, so we can't have a state perspective.
Now, would you say that what Netanyahu and the government is doing in Gaza, the full genocide, the bombing, and now starting a war with Lebanon, would you say that it makes Israelis less safe, what the government's doing?
Can we have 2 volunteers to help get the signs for the car?
Yes, absolutely. The Israeli government has forsaken the Israeli public. It did it before October 7th. Let's not forget that Netanyahu also allowed money to go into Hamas for 5 years, propped them up, so he wouldn't have a Palestinian state, so he could divide and conquer between that and the West Bank. And on the day the entire country was forsaken, the citizens were kidnapped and murdered before the army even got there. The civil society had to prop up the entire system for months because there was no functional government. So I would say that Netanyahu and his government are making the Israelis far less safe, and they didn't start it on October 7th. That's also an important thing to remember, that any government which wasn't first and foremost concerned with ending the occupation and creating a bedrock for any kind of future that isn't violent. Any government that isn't focused on that, which is the vast majority of Israeli governments, is not making the Israeli people safer.
Now, a lot of people deny that there's an apartheid. What's your
You mean inside of 67 Israel or in the West Bank?
I guess the West Bank.
I think to deny that it's apartheid in the West Bank is ludicrous. There's 2 law systems for each people. Palestinians get tried in a military court with an acquittal rate of less than 1%, if I'm not wrong. Jews get tried in a regular civil court. You have the military protecting the settlers helping them steal Palestinian ground. And again, different law systems. Another great example is that everybody in the West Bank is highly, highly, highly affected by the Israeli government policies, as in their safety, freedom of movement, human rights. But only the Jews get to vote for that government, so I don't know what you call that. Like, call it whatever. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to speak on?
I would just like to say to anybody who's kind of relatively more newer to caring about this struggle that thank you and welcome, and please support the Palestinian and Israeli forces on the ground that are actually doing the work that you are calling for here. And I would like to encourage anyone before they post or they say to actually ask themselves if they are helping, because we do need their help. Good? All right, where can I see this?
So, Status Coup on YouTube.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. So it's good brother. Yes.
What's your name?
Jon. Yep, that's us. We'll be back. Yeah.
Okay.
Live on YouTube right now. We're just talking. Next time, if you're here every week, I'll be back. So we'll be talking that time. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. I know we had connection problems. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that was happening. Could be the storm. So there will be a big rally tomorrow in Tel Aviv with Israelis and Palestinians coming together, calling for peace, for end to the war. Let me see if I can find what was put out here on the flyer. Alright, so I can't find it. Anyway, what's going on this week? So there probably will be a few things happening this week. I know it's 4th of July, Independence Day. There will be a protest. I will most likely be out there covering the protest in New York City. So make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you get those notifications. You'll see the video pop up. And that's all I got for you. We have some other videos that we're going to be posting that I covered over the weekend and last week, so make sure you look out for that. And I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing and for liking. So they're here every Sunday. So if you want to come out and rally with them and calling for peace, come out here, Union Square, every Sunday, I think around 5. So I will definitely be back out here to cover their rally.